Hi, welcome back to Woodworking with Wes, miter saw station, video 2. We have got our bench all finished. I've got everything all tied down and everything's working correctly. I got my dust collection hooked up and I've put my miter saw in place and screwed it to the deck so that we're ready to go. I put my level up here to make sure we were still level, and we are. And I have made some little spacer blocks to screw down to our bench to set our outfeed table on. Now, one thing I learned real quick here as I just came here and started getting things set in place. I put a couple of my little outfeed table spacer blocks there, and I realized I'm a little too tall. I'm just like a 32nd too tall, and I don't want to be. So we're going to go over to our table saw. We're going to take a 32nd of an inch off of our block here, and then we're going to come back and decide how big we want to make our blocks as far as back. We're going to put a 10-inch outfeed table on this side with a stop along the back 2 1/4 inches high, and we'll explain the reason we need 2 1/4 inches in just a minute. But right now, let's go to our table saw and get this taken care of. We've cut our little blocks down. We have that completed so that our fence, or our outfeed table, will be the exact right height from our saw. Our next step is to determine how big we want to have these blocks. We will do that by clamping our large level to the saw, putting a little piece of wood here, and we're going to take a measurement from the face of our outfeed table back to this and cut our little blocks to that length, and that makes our blocks 6 and let's see, we're just a shade over a half, so that would be 17 30-seconds. I don't use 30 seconds very much, but I want this to be exact, so we're going to cut this 6 and 17 30-seconds. We're going to make all those little blocks that length, and those little blocks are going to sit in here like this for our outfeed table. We're going to cut our little blocks, the 6 and 17 30-seconds that we measured over on our miter saw station. We're going to cut it with our push fence and our table saw. We can't set the table saw blade high enough to cut through the L shape of the block, so we're going to cut it one direction and then flip it and cut it the other, using our stop. We're just going to hang on to it, run it through the saw. We have to cut 5 of these this size. So let's get started. Blocks cut to size and positioned in place. We're just going to attach them with a couple of screws down to the deck and then put our outfeed table on top. As I was installing the blocks, I nailed them first and then screwed them. That was to hold them in place as I was putting the screws in. Just helped keep things lined up the way I wanted it to. We've got our 10-inch outfeed table made. We're going to put it just like this. We're going to give a couple of nails down through into our blocks and then screw it down tight. Then we'll have that part done. The last part of our outfeed table will be this fence. We're going to attach it from the back side. I made a mark along the back side where my outfeed table is so that I can nail and screw, and I marked my support pieces so that I can screw into the back of those. And we're going to just set this here, nail from the back side, and put some screws in it, and that will get that taken care of. Miter saw is installed. We've installed our outfeed tables on both sides. If you notice on this side, we have an outfeed table that's not very long and it doesn't have a fence. It's just for the outfeed on that side. On this side of our outfeed table, we have a fence. And we'd like to invite you to be sure to watch our next video when we install on our fence a Kreg track and stop system that we purchased from Amazon. And that will be the next time we meet on Woodworking with Wes.